Hi, my name is Lilia Kirilenka. I have been teaching ACCA SBR for over 10 years, and here are a few ACCA resources that I would like you to use. First of all, Study Hub. If you are self-studying, then this is an absolute must. Please don't go just to Google, because there you will find outdated versions, and also you can find something that is not really tested. Study Hub has the extracts from the standards that are going to be tested in your exam. If for some reason you can't understand a part or you need to expand your knowledge, in this case, I would advise you to go to IFRS.org. In here, you will have to register. It's completely free. And then you are going to have the access to all of the standards, to all of the proposed changes, and so on. Here, what I would do, I would go to IFRS Accounting. I would take Standards and Frameworks, IFRS Accounting Standards. And of course, I would click here as like no. And now I can open, let's say, share-based payment, IFRS 2. I will get the access to the full standard. The full standard is going to be right here. So I will download it. Then I can just Control F and find the part that I really want to double check. But most importantly, we need to pay attention to our syllabus. And I get this question quite often, well, can I use previous year's books or not? In order to answer the question, you need to go to ACCAGlobal.com. Then you need to go to Strategic Business Reporting, to Syllabus part. You need to access your syllabus, so most likely you use international version. And then you are going to choose syllabus for your year. So for us, it's September 2026, 2027. With the syllabus, it's quite a long document, but what is the most important is the very end of the document, where you are going to be given the list of changes. So it's going to be somewhere in the end. So somewhere in the end, like part 6, summary of changes to strategic business reporting. And in here, we see that it relates only to the part of the syllabus F1C, and discussion of issues in financial reporting has been changed. The intellectual level has been changed, which means that it's now going to be tested in depth. And how do I know what has changed? I can see that it's F1C, so I will go back there to the syllabus. I will find part F, chapter 1, and then I will find subsection C. So here is what has changed. So this basically means that the books that you had before will be absolutely fine for the upcoming sessions. Now, another question that I get quite often is what standards are tested or not. There, on your ACCA website, you also have a list of examinable documents. So for us, it's SBR examinable documents, September 2026, June 2027. And if you are going to access it, you are going to have this wonderful document. With this very document, you have all the standards and tick marks on whether it has been tested in the FR exam and SBR International. And we will see that everything that is in the FR exam is also tested in the international version of exam. So if somebody asks me if IS 41 agriculture can be tested in SBR, I would say yes, it can. If somebody asks me whether earnings per share IS 33 can be tested, I would say yes, it can, because we can see a tick mark here in the list of examinable documents. And here is an important note. On a normal day, when we're talking about your study hub, you can search and you can find a relevant standard like, let's say, IS 16, ta-da-da, IS 16 and the framework is there, and we can see provisions of IS 16 standard. So I'm going to click and you will see the definition and so on and so on. But some of the standards are going to be missing from the study hub, because that is something that is called assumed knowledge. So if you're going to search for IS 33, you won't find much. And if you're going to search for earnings per share, the only thing that you are going to find is the part that relates to the interpretation of the financial statement, so nothing about the calculation. Well, we don't really need the calculation in this very exam. It is highly unlikely that it can be tested, but since this is an assumed knowledge, you do need to understand all those diluted earnings per share, these basic earnings per share, and so on. And what I'm trying to say is that you need to double check against the syllabus and list of examinable documents whether you have covered everything that needs to be covered using your study hub, because it does not repeat the knowledge that has been assumed, the knowledge that you are supposed to receive in the FR exam. So having said that, with the examinable documents, you will find out that this is the list of standards that are tested. So you will see that we've finished with IFRS 19. And also you will see other papers that get tested, like IFRS S1, ESRS 1, and so on. This means that there will be other papers, other documents that are not really IFRSs. Like, for example, before we had exposure draft, we had discussion papers, we have, let's say, management commentary, we have making materiality judgments. So something that is neither IS, not IFRS, but still gets tested. Talking about other relevant parts, other relevant documents that we have in our SBR section. It would be great for you to read a couple of examiner's report. Your examiner's report can be accessed here from examining team guidance. So in here you have, first of all, examiner's approach article that is really highly advised to read if you are self-studying, and examiner's report. So with the examiner's approach, you will be able to just understand the logic. That is your starting point. You will see that it's just 2 pages, just 1.5 actually. So it's a nice read. And when we're talking about examiner's report, well, you need to read at least a few in order to spot the mistakes that people make. So with your examiner's report, you are going to be given questions, parts of past questions, and then you are going to be told what was done correctly and what was done incorrectly. And we really care about those comments on the problems the student had, because you are the same student. And if other people have the same mistakes, had problems, then chances are that you are going to have this problem as well. So for example, in here, poor answers applied incorrect exchange rates or only translated the cost of the investment. So this means that I need to keep in mind to double check what is the exchange rate that I am applying. Okay, well, well-prepared candidates clearly separated the answers into 3 stages. So this is what I need to do, and so on. If you have a course, if you have a tuition, then that is something that is going to happen with you in the course, so you don't need to worry about it. So for example, I have a course and it is embedded there. But if you are self-studying, then this is the work that you need to do yourself. It's not going to be covered by your study hub. That is what I wanted to tell you. So to sum up, you have a section in your ACCA Global.com website which relates to SBR. With the SBR, we need to pay attention to the syllabus to know what to study, to examinable documents to make sure that we covered everything, and if we need a little bit more of guidance, we can go to ifrs.org and we can look up the full version of the standard. And Study Hub is a great source, but if you're using a course, then better to use a course because it will have the methodology that will guide you through it. If you are self-studying, then Study Hub is your best option because it has the information that is up to date and that is relevant to the syllabus. And that was Lilia Kirlenka, SBR Made Easy podcast, and join my course in order to get all the value in one place and not have the need to go and juggle between different documents. Bye!